Hey, how's it going?
Hey John, good to meet you, man. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. I apologize for yesterday. I completely, didn't see it in time, and I apologize for that. I appreciate you rescheduling. Excited to be on the podcast.
Dude, all good. Yeah, no worries at all. Like stuff happens, I get it. It was kind of last minute on my end too. So we're good, man. But it's dope to meet you. And
Yeah,
thanks for
nice to meet
coming
you
on.
as well. So you guys,
Yeah.
you must be are you based in DC area?
Yeah, that's where I live right
Okay.
now. I've
Oh,
lived
sweet.
all over, but yeah, that's where I am right now. And you went to Georgetown, right?
Yeah, I was looking up the podcast and I saw you had Chris Farley on there. So I know him from Julie Cully and the Georgetown relationship there. So yeah, it's a small world. I was like, they must be in the like Northern Virginia, DC area.
Yeah, so we have a studio in Woodbridge, Virginia, and then
Sweet.
so there's a whole long convoluted story to this show. I started it during the pandemic. It was just audio. Now I have a
Sweet.
studio. I invited Ken. He won't make it today, but Ken now does
Okay.
it with me. And then now we're starting to branch out again and do more virtual things, but it's good,
Awesome.
man. Yeah. All right.
Sweet.
So we'll get into it. I got some fun questions, right? Because we only got 40 minutes because I don't pay for
Yes.
Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, I mean, dude, you're already a legendary coach in your own right. And I mean that in full compliment. So, my first question to you is would you rather have black toenails or blisters?
I'm gonna go with black toenails. Well, thank you first. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm definitely going with black toenails without a question. Blisters, they hurt a lot pretty much every step. Any black toenail I've ever had is just it's just a sight for sore eyes kind of situation.
You can just pop it off, right?
Eventually, yeah, it just comes right off, and yeah, it's new one grows in, it's good to go.
Yeah, man. So you're in Flagstaff right now, right?
Yep, based in Flagstaff and live here right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's so rad, man. I'd love to hear, right? Because you went to Georgetown, like we just said.
Mhm.
DC and Northern Virginia has its own like awesome running community. As anybody
Absolutely.
who's probably watching this knows, Flagstaff is like a hub of running. Like
Mhm.
I'd love to hear like what is the running culture there like?
Yeah, I mean it's awesome, right? So it really kind of changes in DC, right? It kind of stays the same is what I found throughout the year versus in Flagstaff, it's very dependent on kind of what season we're in, right? So in the winter months and kind of early spring into late fall, like in that area, it's a lot of professionals in town and kind of, if you will, like semi pros, people post collegiates and stuff like that, versus when basically school starts getting out for the collegiates, then they hop on over here, and so it becomes chaos at some of the one of the local runs, which is the bagel run, which is I believe it's Thursday mornings. Don't quote me. Somebody can look that up if they want to check it out. But Thursday mornings at like 8 a.m. Like in the summer, it'll be like 200 people. It's crazy, and so it really kind of ebbs and flows with kind of what people are getting ready for, whether it's summer training or getting ready for an indoor or outdoor track season and stuff like that. So it's really cool the changing that happens in Flagstaff.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's so funny. The bagel run. I almost came to Flagstaff in April, and so I do a
Sweet.
live laugh and run show as well. And
Mhm.
but everyone I talked to was like, better to do it in the summer. So they didn't mention any bagels though. So that's
The tradition is that you do get so it starts from Biff's Bagels, and so the tradition is that you stop in there and you get some good bagels after the run and stuff like that. But some people skip on that. But yeah, I always like to pop in there and grab a bagel post run, which is always a nice little treat.
oh my God, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what? Take me through like your life, your journey. Like, how'd you get to this
Mhm.
point? Like, I'm sure we'll get into like people you've coached and the success you've had in that. But like, what
Yeah.
was your journey, man? What made you want to be a coach? Like, tell me your story.
Yeah, so it kind of all started. So I ran in high school, obviously. Eventually, got recruited to go to Georgetown, along with some other schools, but ended up selecting Georgetown and staying there throughout my 5 years. And so throughout my time there, got close with my coaches there: Pat Henner, Julie Cully, Brandon Bonzi, Mike Smith was there as well while I was there, and Brandon Bonzi was my main coach throughout that whole time there, and was really able to, learn from him quite a bit about training philosophy around that, why we're doing what we're doing. And he was awesome and really kind of explaining, hey, this is why we're doing this, and teaching me about that. And so, yeah, from there was really just interested in sport. Eventually, was recruited out of college to go run professionally. Struggled a little bit there, and so eventually kind of found my way to working with Molly Seidel, and with there just kind of comparing training notes and talking through training, and eventually started working together. And from there had some success with her making the Olympic team, and then going to the Olympics and having success there as well. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun, but yeah, it's been a quick wild ride, if you will, kind of going from switching jobs, it feels like, from collegiate to professional to coach all of a sudden. And yeah, had a lot of fun throughout the journey so far.
Yeah, I love how you just glossed over Molly. He's like, oh yeah, she, bronze medal at the Olympics, but I
Yeah.
coached her. But yeah, it's fun. My
Yeah.
wife actually dressed up as her for Halloween once, so
Oh, really?
we basically know the same person. That's
Exactly. 100%. Yeah.
yeah. All right, awesome. Let's get into that then. Since
Yeah.
so how exactly did you and her meet? I mean, that's
Yeah.
just to fully recap, just because you said it quickly, like you
Yeah.
coach like in a living legend as far as I'm concerned at this point, right? Like that was so rad. She came out of
Yeah.
nowhere. She made the U.S. team, and then third at the like mind blowing
Yeah.
stuff, man. How did and you were the one that was like you were steering the ship. You were helping her, coaching her, dude. It's epic. Like, how did you meet
Thank
her?
you.
Like, what did those conversations look like in the beginning?
Yeah, so known Molly for a while, right? It's funny enough, we pulled up our old like Foot Locker photos, and she was at Foot Locker and won Foot Locker the year I went there, or the first year I went there, and so knew her from there. And then we ended up being, she was at Notre Dame, and we had some friends on the men's side that I was friends with and stuff like that. So we kind of knew of each other then. And then we both joined the same professional team based in based in Boston. And so that's kind of where we first really got to know each other. And yeah, then from there, she ended up deciding to leave the team. And I kind of just offered a helping hand. I was like, hey, listen, if you need somebody to hold a stopwatch and stuff like that. We sat down in the cafe and kind of worked through, hey, listen, this is what I think works for training for fitness for people. And she agreed with it fully. And so from there, that's kind of where we went. And she's obviously immensely talented. And so from my perspective, it was, it would be a hard thing to screw up kind of thing. And so,
Right.
yeah, but from there, we started working together in August, September of 2019. And then the trials were obviously in February of 2020. So worked together for a little bit in that period. And then obviously 2020 and the pandemic happened. And so that kind of threw
Right.
everything for a loop. And yeah, it was, for us from a training perspective, it was really helpful because it put a pause to things. And so we could just focus on building up training and stuff like that leading into the Tokyo Games, which were held up in Sapporo for us for the marathon.
Gotcha. I'm sure when you were an athlete and a pro runner yourself, you had workouts you hated.
Yes.
Do you enjoy being like, all right, you go do these and I'll keep on the clock.
Yeah, it's funny is there's it comes from my Georgetown days is the 90-30 fartlek. So 90 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And usually it's anywhere from, on the low end it's 2 to 3 miles, on the higher end it's, 7 to 8 on the highest. And the athletes hate it. I don't know why. I always enjoyed it in my Georgetown days. It came from the coaching staff there, and yeah, for some reason, the athletes on the team hate it, and so that's the only one where it gives me a little bit of a joy because I'm like, I know they don't like it. We only do it a few times a build, so it's really a small bit of the training, but it's fun to give.
Dude, that's funny. So when you're done coaching for the day, like you go
Yeah.
home, are you able to fully unplug, or are you still like dialed in with running, like thinking about the next day and stuff?
I feel like I'm always thinking about it and just ideas. Okay, what if we did this differently? Or on workout days, kind of okay, how did I handle that situation? Was it good? Could I improve? How do I, looking at it from the side of, okay, how do I get the athletes to, I have two number one rules on the team, which is we want to have fun and we want to be consistent, right? And pretty much everything supports that. And so, how do we better that in different ways? And so, that's kind of where my brain always goes afterwards. But yeah, definitely, usually sometimes waking up in the middle of the night being like, oh, what if we did it this way or something like that? Or, waking up in the morning, immediately going to think about it, which, it's not a typical 9 to 5, but, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a lot of fun.
Man, I love your energy. You're so positive and you're like dialed in. Like sometimes I'll talk to like athletes or coaches. I'm like, what do you do after to unwind? And they're like, I drink. I drink to forget. It's like, okay, you seem like you got some demons going on. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you should try running, like just chilling. It's easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
try right. Maybe
Yeah.
just don't do a workout tomorrow. Just go for like a clarity run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
right on, man. So okay, so met Molly, and this was before you started, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Verde?
Yep, yeah. So this was before I officially started Verde. We always, Molly and
Verde.
I, if you would, I bet if you go back to some of our old Instagram posts or stuff, you might find like Verde TC in there and stuff. We had been joking about it for a long time, but this was before the official start of it for sure.
Gotcha. What is does the name mean anything in particular? Like what does the name refer to?
Yeah, so it's green in a few different languages, Spanish, Italian, and I think a couple other ones. There's also, we're just north of Camp Verde, which is where we do a lot of our workouts in Flags, or we drive down to from Flagstaff to Camp Verde, and so yeah, that's kind of where the name has come from. But yeah, mostly, John Green being my
Well,
full name, and yeah, last name, yeah, Green Verde, all that.
I was gonna say that's the most clever way to name something after yourself without
Oh
sounding
yeah.
like it's all about me. You're
Yeah,
like, no,
exactly, exactly. Just
it's
trying to like intertwine it.
yeah, exactly. So eventually, like you'll go up to somebody and be like, "Hi, I'm John Verde," and they'll be like, "Green," and you're like, "Same thing."
Yeah, same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Exactly.
All right, so you started the group, and now it's, correct me if I'm wrong, mainly geared towards the more professional side of athletes. Is that right? But you do coach. Like I'm going to be honest with you, just in preparation for this, I
Yeah.
was reading the Reddit thread on you, and
Oh
people were
goodness.
no, they were saying nice things. I
Oh good.
also
Okay, thank
yeah. No,
goodness.
if
Okay.
if they weren't saying nice things, I wouldn't even bring it up, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I clicked on it and like whoever wrote it went through like the detailed process of like the
Mm,
call you initially set up and then like
mhm.
your approach and your philosophy, and they said really nice things, and it
Oh
wasn't
cool.
like I ran it was like I just started running this year, so like it was really positive, and I'd love to hear like yeah your approach for that like everyday person, like
Mhm.
whoever that Reddit thread was.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's funny, yeah. Some people look at it and they're like, "Oh, you must only coach professionals." And no, I coach a lot of amateurs as well, and have a lot of fun with it. And it really balances things quite well. There's obviously things I learned from the professionals, and it's almost like a top down way of like getting the best training for the amateurs, but it also works the other direction as well. And so that's something that's been so fun to kind of learn getting into this coaching all levels, right? I've coached people who, are just trying to run their first 5K all the way, obviously, like we talked about, to, Molly who won a medal. And so it's really cool to see the similarities. And that's kind of where my approach of, consistency and fun being like two number one rules, it's kind of where I got that from is, athlete, I've had a lot of athletes who've come to me and they're like, just burnt out from their previous coach, or, maybe just burnt out because they're just, trying to do the most. And sometimes if you just back it off a hair, you're able to actually do more work at the end of the day and get better because of it. And so it's a lot of fun to work with people on an individual level and just, have a lot of fun with it and just get to talk to people about their stories and stuff like that. And, how do we, I tell them my job is to think outside of the box, right? That's why they pay me, right? Is to
Right.
think outside of the box and have the experience of like, oh yeah, yeah, no, I've dealt with this before. Okay, how do we move forward and get better because of that, right?
Awesome. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's really cool, and I think, I mean, just my own personal view and experience, like The sign of a really good coach is like if you can coach elites, that's amazing. But if you can
Mhm.
also if you can coach both elites and just like your everyday person, which like clearly you do, Reddit approves it. Like
Yeah.
you're awesome.
Clearly
That
Reddit knows everything, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. There's no way Reddit has misleading information on it.
Definitely not. Everything on
um,
the internet is true, right?
yeah, exactly. That's why I owe a lot of people a lot of money because I
Yeah.
believe everything on the internet is true, my man.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
just like kudos to you, and
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
I think we need more and more coaches like that to help build running in this country,
Mhm.
but also the world, because people
Yeah,
need
for
to
sure.
have that
Yeah.
person that
No, it's
guide.
it's a sweet sport, and you know, uh like obviously like we talked about, right? There's a ton of information on the internet about, okay, this is the right way to do it. This is the wrong way to do it, right? There's, influencers that are saying something, and then, some doctor might say something different, right? And so it's, I'm not always going to be right, of course, right?
Right.
But in the same aspect, just trying to guide people and, explain my position, when I'm working with them, and hey, this is my reasoning. But if they come back, I always say this as well to them is, they've been living with their body for however many years, right? For me to say, oh, you're absolutely wrong is just the wrong approach, right? And listening to what has worked in the past for them to gain fitness, and so that we can do that in the future, and hopefully build on it.
For sure. The only person you should tell wrong is your aunt who smokes, who's like, running's gonna destroy your knees. It's
Yep, 100%.
like, all right, Aunt Linda, you might be wrong.
Yeah, there's a chance,
Yeah, just
Save
kidding.
that for the Thanksgiving dinner table just to pick the fight.
I know running. You might have coached Molly, but I took Molly in an alley once, and I'll tell you what, it was wild.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. Oh.
So, I'd love to hear like, and not trying to be like too focused on it, but it is just such a cool thing. Like your origin story is coaching an Olympian. Like that's awesome. What
Mhm.
what were your feelings, emotions, like all of the things when she qualified, and then yeah, let's start with qualify. Like, what take me through it, man.
Just so stoked, right? It's funny is so leading into that, Molly and I, she was traveling a bunch and stuff like that. So I never actually got to see a workout of hers leading into the trials. It was only after the trials that I got to see like her workout for the first time. And so, yeah, it was a wild day. It was just so cool to see, and obviously just a true underdog story. And then just watching, the attention that she brought to the sport with it. And obviously, then COVID happens, and so that kind of changes things a little bit. But yeah, it was just such a cool day, and I wouldn't say it was unexpected, given seeing what she was able to do in workouts and stuff like that. Definitely knew she had a chance at it for sure, and but watching the race unfold and yeah, just take off how it did, it was awesome.
Dude, nice. The level of like hype and pride you must have been feeling is so
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh
And
yeah, it's funny to look back at the photos too of just seeing on that day. It's awesome.
nice. And then Tokyo, did you get to go
Mhm.
or did you have to stay home?
Yeah, so luckily I was able to go. Actually, it was funny. I was telling somebody this the other day. Is we were flying over to Tokyo, and I didn't know. I took off for my flight took off, and I didn't know when we took off whether I was going to be able to go up to Sapporo, which is where the marathon was.
Okay.
All I knew was I was allowed in the country, and so that was the whole big thing. And then eventually, I landed. And like 5 hours after landing, I found out, okay, yep, they're going to allow us to go up to Sapporo. So that was even cooler that I was able to go to Tokyo, spend some time in Japan before going up to Sapporo. Though my time in Japan, the entire time was in the hotel. So
Oh,
it
right. So it
was,
was locked down. Oh,
oh yeah, it
jeez.
was. I need to go back to Japan to experience it as a country because I've heard such great things about it, but have yet to truly experience it.
Right. So if someone's like, "How was Tokyo?" It's like the bed sheets so clean. Like
Yeah, I was like, I
this
looked out the hotel window. It was great. It looked like an amazing city. Other than
and
that, I have no idea.
the television there was a bidet. Awesome. But other than that,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
All right, right on. So then you went up and now it's race day.
Hmm.
goes off. I mean, we all know what happened. Uh,
Yeah.
Again, same deal. Like, what what do you say to her when that happens? What does she say to you? What's
Yeah.
the conversation like after that happens?
Yeah, it was basically like we did it. I think was the first word she said to me after. Um, because of again COVID, things were a little different. Where I was at a bottle station setting up her bottles at I forget what mile mark or K mark, but um, when she finished, I was actually in the bus and we were waiting to leave that bottle station to go back to the finish line. And so it was something where, yeah, she had finished like, and then 10 minutes later, I got to see her, which was awesome. And yeah, she was just so stoked. And yeah, it was just, again, very similar feelings to the trials where, yeah, just pure elation with it.
Oh man, that's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also like, and I hope this doesn't come off disrespectful, but
No.
like anybody, I knew of Molly and I knew of that
Mm-hmm.
hype and success. And I was like, so awesome. And then just through one thing or another, I learned of you. And then like in getting ready for this call, I was reading
Yeah.
about you and I was like, oh my God, like the story of that is so much more epic when you realize like that was sort of like your start as well in building this
Mm.
legacy you're building. And like you're already a legendary coach. And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 30 back in February. Yeah.
Oh, dude, right. So we're the same age. You
Yeah.
have already coached an Olympian. I have a podcast that my mom sometimes listens to. So like you're crushing it, dude.
I listen. I've looked at the views. Don't worry. We got
Uh,
more than just your mom listening to
yeah,
it.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes. All right. Well, dude, I love it, man. All right. So
Awesome.
now we'll get into a little more funny weirdness, unless there's
Yeah.
anything else running related you want to talk about.
No, that's good. I'm cool with that. Yeah.
That's good. All right, dude. I love this, man. It's you're a
Sweet.
fun energy. Good guy. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we can get in as much depth or keep it as short as you want. It's a safe
Cool.
space. Only the whole
Sweet.
world can see it, so just no pressure.
Yeah.
Um. All right. So first question: do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, with the whole, like, I think mathematically it makes sense, right? That there's other life. That's kind of what I haven't deep dove it in a while, so maybe I need to go back to it. I'll write it on my whiteboard to remind me. But yeah.
Molly's gonna walk in and be like, "What's that?" And you're like, "I don't. I have a whole new life now." After the
Listen, I went on a podcast and it changed everything.
it changed everything.
Yeah.
That's so funny. We're starting swimming workouts now, Molly. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, got you. So mathematically makes sense. Nothing beyond
Yes.
that as of now. We're gonna talk again next month. I'm just gonna follow up, and you're gonna be like, dude, I went
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole.
You just get a 10,000 word email from me being like, all right, I have some small thoughts. Hold on. I can elaborate on anything you'd like.
A 10,000 word email. I'll be like, oh man, I really messed this guy up.
Just delete. This is best to just, we'll forget about it. Sorry, I missed the email. My bad.
I just delete. I come in, lightly destroy your life, and then just back out. Like I don't know. All right.
Exactly.
All right, sounds good, dude. This is great so far. All right, second question: do
Mm.
you believe in ghosts?
I'm gonna go with no on this one. I think
Okay,
I think I'd have to experience a like paranormal activity situation for me to like believe in it. So with that being said, if my house is haunted, I do believe it's just I'm just looking for a light clue, nothing extreme.
got you. Like you don't want to have like the TV turn on, someone crawls out of it. You just want like lights to
Yeah.
flicker a little, like
Yeah,
benign.
like flick on the lights 3 times, let me know, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, benign haunting, but don't like
Yes.
ruin my life.
Yeah, that's ideal.
For sure, man. I love it. All right, what do you think happens when we die?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I grew up very Catholic, so obviously
Oh,
heaven, hell, and all of that. Um, yeah, I that one I'm still wrestling with and don't have a full answer with. That's obviously my go-to is that idea of Catholicism's afterlife, but I'm still kind of like flushing that one out for sure.
Gotcha.
I'll let you
Totally.
know when I die. I'll keep you posted. Especially, I'll let you know about the ghost thing too.
You're hopefully you don't die for many years. However, when the
Yes,
time
yes.
comes,
Fingers crossed.
I'm gonna be next to your bedside and you're gonna be like, "Why are you here? Where is my family?" I'm gonna be like, "Hey man,
Yeah.
we had a conversation once."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You're like, I listen, I have some answers for you. I got the whiteboard. I just wrote it up there for you.
Right?
Check your
Or,
email.
or I bring the 10,000 word email you wrote me and I just recite it to you as you drift off.
Yes,
Just like, good luck.
exactly. Yeah. Oh.
All right, awesome. Do you prefer TV or books?
I'm definitely a TV guy for sure. I've been trying to get into books. My partner, she reads a lot, and so I've been introduced to the Goodreads world, and so I'm working my way into it of just trying to read more books. I tend to reread the same book over and over again, and so yeah, that's what I'm working on, and she's helping.
All right, gotcha. We're kind of in a similar camp, I think.
Yeah.
What for starters for shows, since you're more in that world, like what's your go to? What have you been vibing with lately?
So we are currently watching Severance, which I know we're a little bit behind with, but Severance is up there. We were watching a little bit of Parks and Rec at one
Okay,
point, and so yeah, just kind of filling out all the kind of more popular shows. I feel like now.
all right, right on. And then
Yeah.
what books have you been rolling with?
Um, Eat a Peach was really good. I can't recommend that book enough. I'm trying to think what else. It's been a while since I've finished a book, so I tend to start them and then just kind of like basically fall away from it. I tried rereading Harry Potter, and or even I read it as a child and kind of I don't remember finishing them either. So
Gosh,
I need to watch like Harry Potter, things like that, the classics, if you will. But Eat a
half
Peach, incredible book.
even halfway through Harry Potter, you're like, let's just put on the movie. Like this
Yeah,
is way too
exactly.
long. I'll know what happens in the
Yeah, I'll
movie.
figure it out. It's fine.
It's better than Cliff Notes. It's more fun to watch.
Exactly, exactly.
All
Yeah.
right, right on, man. So where did you grow up?
So I grew up in central Massachusetts.
Oh,
For
okay.
those who know it, it's a small town called Berlin, and it's about 20 minutes east of Worcester and about an
Okay.
hour west of Boston.
Got you. So you went to Georgetown. Was it
Mhm.
between a couple places in Georgetown, or
Yep.
was like where else were you looking?
Yeah, so I originally committed to Northeastern University
Oh,
and
okay.
Northeastern because and then they had a big coaching change and stuff like that, and so decided to kind of reevaluate choices a little bit and ended up
Hmm.
settling with Georgetown. Came in for my visit less than 24 hours, and yeah, kind of went from there. So it was
Fell in
awesome.
love. Nice, man.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Where were some spots in the area that you love running? Because I've been living here about a year and a half. I'm still
Okay.
discovering new spots. So
Yeah. Man, so this is my take, and we'll get hate in the comments and whatnot. Molly will come for me on this one because she disagrees so fundamentally. But I think
I'm
DC
excited.
is the best running city
Oh,
in the
oh,
East Coast.
hold on. You and Molly like break up your partnership all because of all because of this.
Oh, she knows this opinion. That's the thing. Is she knows this opinion. She just disagrees with it so fundamentally.
And
But
what
so
is
I've lived in.
yeah.
Sorry, go for it.
No. I was just gonna ask what she thinks, but tell me.
Okay. So she thinks Boston is the best running city on the
Okay.
East Coast. I've lived in Boston, New York City, and Manhattan very briefly, but still live there, and DC. And I take that DC is the best running city on the East Coast. So I
Gotcha.
realize there's a lot of other cities, both north and south of DC, that I didn't mention. But yeah, so DC, great running city. I mean, towpath, you have Roosevelt Island. Loops there are great. There's the whole trail system that goes from kind of in Georgetown area all the way up into Maryland through Rock Creek Park. And yeah, I mean, obviously you have the monuments and stuff like that. There's just so many, so many options out there, which is so sweet.
Dude, that's so rad. I also,
Yeah.
to be fair, I have not run
Yes.
in Boston extensively, but
Yeah.
I've lived in New York. I've lived in Philadelphia. Philly's great, by the way. But
Okay.
I will agree with you that DC has been the best running experience overall. And
Yeah.
the other places are great. This is just so good. So
So it's yeah, and this is my test for it is out the door. Somebody who's working a 9 to 5 out the door. How fast can they get to a bunch of different runs? And I think DC tops that like far and away. Of if you're short on time, you just need to get out the door to go for a run and want variation. That is the place for you. It's not the nicest weather. It is definitely like it's not all soft surface like Flagstaff, but you don't have to drive to a ton, which I think is huge. So
that's
that's
pretty
my take.
that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. So we got only a few minutes left,
Yeah.
because, like I said, I don't pay for Zoom. But
I see the countdown in the corner.
it's yeah, it's the countdown to actually, but my heart's gonna stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Uh, I'd love to hear just like one more cool. I'm enamored by Flagstaff, if I can be totally honest. Like we said,
Sweet.
there's just a couple hubs. That's one outside, right? Because huge running culture. A lot of people go there for running.
Mm.
Outside of that, or like, is it a very outdoors culture? Are there things to do? Like, what does life look like in Flagstaff?
Yeah. I mean, Flagstaff's awesome. Obviously, huge outdoors culture. So we have Sedona that is basically 40 minutes away, 40 minutes south of us. We have the Grand Canyon that's 90 minutes or so north of us. And so there's like those are just two, tourist destinations, right, for people. Mountain biking is great in Flagstaff, also in Sedona. There's tons of hiking, road cycling, and kind of triathlon has grown in Flagstaff a lot recently in the past like 5 years or so, I'd say.
Nice.
But yeah, there's just so many. Yeah, camping's obviously huge up here as well. So many dirt roads that can kind of find a camping spot on. Don't really have to compete for, and yeah, so there's and then in the fall, obviously, there's fall colors and stuff like that with the leaves changing and stuff like that. So there's just a ton of things to do. If nightlife is what you're after, maybe not the the
Right.
best thing in the world. There is some good trivia places and some good breweries here in Flagstaff. There's a bunch actually, and so yeah, I can't recommend it for nightlife, but I do think if you're just looking for kind of if your night ends around 10 p.m., it's perfect, or
Ah,
11 p.m. Yeah.
awesome, man. I love it. All right. So I have one more question. We can end it on that. But before I
Go for
do,
it.
anything you want to promote, whether it's like your own social, Verity social, like anything at all.
Sweet. I mean, yeah, if people want to check out Verde Track Club, it's verdetrackclub.com. Verde Track Club on Instagram. My Instagram handle is gogreenxc. And yeah, no, please. Always happy to, we're taking on new athletes and stuff like that. So really excited to continue to grow Verde and yeah, awesome.
Dude, I love it. I actually have
Thank
two
you.
more questions now. So
Oh, fire away.
two quick questions. One, do you prefer cross or track?
Definitely cross. I was so much better at cross,
I know.
and
All the
yeah,
high
cross
fives.
country is just
Same.
far and away so much more fun. Though our European counterparts are going to say is American cross country really cross country, but yeah, I think it's a great setup for athletes going to the roads. I find it's very similar, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, and there's something to be said for European cross country as well, of course. But I like both equally.
Yeah, more gritty.
Yeah.
I was looking into putting on a cross race. I'm like, let me get the hay bales. I couldn't find one place to insure me if I'm gonna have hay bales.
That's what I've heard is just like, yeah, we try to like if we try to make it really muddy or stuff like that, or even like logs on it, insurance is just like, we'd
They're
rather not.
they're such wimps. But then if we do steeplechase, it's like, yeah, totally do that. It's like that's way
Yeah,
more
exactly.
dangerous.
Yes, the barriers don't move, and
I know.
they're yeah, like hitting your face on that is way worse than hitting it on a hay bale.
I know. All right. Last question.
Yes.
Would you would you ever want to hang out sometime socially with me?
Yeah, go for it. If you're in Flagstaff, hit me up. Yeah,
Dude, all
absolutely.
right. I was hoping that'd catch you off guard, but you're too nice of a person. You're like, yeah,
Oh
let's
no,
hang out.
that's the thing is it's so fun. Kind of going back to the this is gonna be a longer answer than you versus yes or no.
No, no, that's
Uh,
fine.
but that's the greatest thing about Flagstaff is people are like constantly coming and going from Flagstaff, whether it's people coming in for a visit for like a week or 10 days, or people out here for like a 3 month training stint. Either way, it's so awesome with people I haven't seen for a while. I have some friends who are photographers and stuff. They're like, oh, I'm shooting this team in Flagstaff. Are you out there? And yeah, it's great. Get to grab a beer, hang out, just say hi, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yes, please, if you're in Flagstaff, hit me up.
Dude,
Absolutely.
I love it, man. Well, hey, it was awesome getting to know you. Thank you for coming on the show, dude. I'm gonna try to put this out this weekend, so
Sweet. Awesome.
we'll be
Excited.
good to go.
Excited for the
All right,
listen.
all right, man. Stay in touch.
Thanks. All right. See you later.
All right, take care.